How to find peace in difficult times based on the Psalms. Life is often full of challenges, unexpected hurdles, personal failures, losses, and disappointments. These experiences can leave us feeling anxious, uncertain, or even overwhelmed. But what if peace is not as far away as it feels? The Book of Psalms, nestled at the heart of the Bible, offers a timeless invitation to reconnect with God and find peace even in the hardest moments of life. Written by individuals who, themselves, experience deep struggles, heartbreaks, and battles, the Psalms reflect every shade of human emotion, from despair and fear to hope and joy. In this video, we'll explore how the Psalms can guide us toward the calm we so deeply crave. We'll reflect on their timeless wisdom, uncover principles for practical application, and examine how their words can strengthen our hearts and minds today. This isn't about pretending life is easy, it's about learning to navigate life's storms with God as our anchor. Let this be a moment of personal reflection, a space where you can open your heart to the messages that God has preserved for us in His Word. The Psalms serve as a mirror of the human spirit. Written over hundreds of years, they provide a wealth of wisdom and emotional insight. At its core, the Book of Psalms acts as a journal of human experiences poured out before God, full of unfiltered cries for help, powerful declarations of faith, and humble praises. What makes the Psalms uniquely powerful is their honesty. They remind us that it's okay to feel pain, fear, or doubt. In Psalm 13, David begins with an anguished cry, saying, "How long, Lord? Will you forget me forever?" This raw vulnerability reflects what many of us feel yet are afraid to express. At the same time, the Psalms point us toward hope. They don't leave us in despair. Notably, Psalm 13 ends with trust, "But I have trusted in your steadfast love, my heart shall rejoice in your salvation." This duality, the honest presentation of struggle paired with unwavering faith, is what makes the Psalms so significant. They remind us that even in our darkest valleys, God offers peace. Let's take a closer look at 4 specific Psalms and what they teach us about finding peace during life's difficulties. Psalm 23 is one of the most beloved passages in the Bible. It begins with the comforting words, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." This imagery of God as a shepherd reminds us of His constant care, protection, and guidance. Even when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we are assured that God is with us, His presence providing comfort. Here, peace doesn't come from the absence of challenges, but from the shepherd who walks with us through them. Even in the darkest moments, we are not alone. Psalm 46 is a powerful reminder that God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. It calls us to quiet our restless minds with the profound words, "Be still, and know that I am God." In moments of fear or chaos, this verse invites us to stop trying to control everything and instead trust in God's sovereignty. Have you ever felt that the harder you try to fix something, the more overwhelmed you become? Psalm 46 reminds us to step back, release the weight we are carrying, and let God take control. Psalm 91 speaks to those seeking safety amid uncertainty. "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty." It is filled with promises of protection, offering assurance that those who trust in God will find deliverance from fear and harm. This psalm brings peace by shifting our focus away from our problems and onto God's power and provision. It encourages us to dwell in His presence, where our souls can rest. This psalm begins with a question, "I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come?" The answer immediately follows, "My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth." In hard times, we often look for help from various sources, friends, family, or even our own strength. While these things can provide temporary relief, Psalm 121 reminds us that ultimate help and peace come from God, the Creator of all things. What can we take away from these Psalms and apply to our own lives? Recognize God as your refuge. The Psalms repeatedly emphasize that God is our refuge, our safe place. Turning to Him in prayer, especially during hardships, creates a foundation of peace. Speak honestly with God. The Psalms show us the beauty of being real with God. Don't be afraid to express your fears, anger, or sadness in prayer. Honest communication deepens trust. Rest in God's promises. Many Psalms contain promises of God's love, provision, and care. Meditating on these truths can quiet an anxious heart. 4. Let go of control. Passages like Psalm 46 teach us the importance of surrendering to God's sovereignty. Peace flows when we trust that He is in control, even when we don't understand His plan. Moving from reflection to action, how can you bring the peace of the Psalms into your everyday life? Choose a psalm that resonates with you. Read it slowly, reflecting on each verse. Allow the words to sink deeply into your heart. Psalm 23 or Psalm 121 can be great starting points. The Psalms were often written as prayers, so why not use them in your prayer life? For example, you can pray, "Lord, you are my shepherd. I trust you to guide me through this challenging time." Memorizing verses like "Be still and know that I am God," Psalm 46 verse 10, equips you with powerful reminders to lean on when you feel overwhelmed or afraid. Dedicate a few minutes each day to finding stillness before God. Quiet your busy thoughts, read a psalm, and let its words remind you of God's presence. The Psalms don't promise that life will be free of hardship, but they do show us how to move through difficulties with faith and resilience. As we learn to trust God in all circumstances, peace becomes less about avoiding challenges and more about experiencing His presence in the midst of them. Through the Psalms, we are reminded that God's love is steadfast and His faithfulness doesn't waver. Hard times become an opportunity to grow closer to Him, to see His hand at work, and to build a deeper faith. Let's take a moment to reflect. What challenges in your life feel overwhelming right now? What emotions are you carrying that might need to be poured out to God? The message of the Psalms is simple yet profound: you are never alone. Whatever valley you may be walking through, God is with you, offering peace that surpasses all understanding. Embrace the Psalms as a guide that reminds you to trust, to hope, and to surrender everything to the one who works all things for our good. Take the words of Psalm 23 to heart: "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Let that truth anchor your soul as you continue on your journey. May you find peace, not from the absence of difficulty, but in the presence of our ever-faithful God.